Okay, and in today's video, I am going to be covering the topic on, well, I'm not going to be covering any topic, but I'm going to be basically doing the commentary for my pull workout, which usually is done towards the later half of the week. As you can probably see, I like to start off with some form of cable slash rope pullovers to really isolate the lats before I go inside any of my back movements, just to pre-fatigue it so that there's blood within it, and this also gives me like a nice little pump, and it also serves as a really good stabilizer when I do go inside my chest workout. So like, it's amazing, can't complain. And you can see the way I'm doing this, I am keeping my torso almost parallel to the floor. I don't pull it beyond my thighs, I stop at my thighs. I like to train this in the lengthen range, and on the way up, I maintain a slight lock in my elbows. On the way down, I probably bend my elbows a bit more than normal, a bit like pull over slash pull down thing, and I make circular motions around my shoulder joint. That basically is it. You do this properly, you're gonna feel your lats fire up. And yes, I usually like to do two sets of this in the 10 to 15 rep range. Yeah, there you go. And moving on from there, I usually do like a single hand Nautilus row. Now, if any of y'all have access to this machine, please do this. You can really feel your lats, you know. I like to do this one hand at a time, starting off with my weaker hand, which is my left hand, and then I move on to the right hand. And for the purpose of this video, I have only moved on to my right hand. But I focus on the stretch, literally like thinking that my arm is being pulled away from my body. I do like two sets of this on each side for 10 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps to be honest, because I cannot train higher reps for lats. Like, I genuinely cannot. Moving on from there, I do like an overhand plate loaded row. Now, initially, this was supposed to be done with the lat pull on bar, like an overhand row, but then I found this kit right here, and the curvature of this machine is beautiful. Like, it moves in like a bit of a bell like curve, and you can really feel your upper back fire up. The way I like to do this is I make sure that my elbows are flat out and it's in line with the handles, and I retract it with my shoulder blades. And on the way down, I like to slouch a little bit. I like to train this in the 6 to 12 rep range, basically. So, yeah, because I have this philosophy that if you train in the lower rep range, you're probably going to build more myofibular muscle, which is like more denser muscle rather than like muscle, like fluid and nutrients within the muscle cells, which is more like a pumpish feeling towards it, like a bubbly feeling towards the muscle. You need both, but for my back, I want to stay as dense as possible. And sometimes, as you can probably see, my ass slightly comes off the bench. That's okay. I retract my shoulder blades, and it's a really good moment. Like, I really feel good at it. Now, I recorded this video from another perspective as well so that I can give you guys more visual cues. So, yeah, as you can probably see, I'm wearing slippers, but when I'm training, I want to be as comfortable as possible. I don't really care about presentability. I am chasing performance. So, with regards to that, I want to be as comfortable as possible. As you can probably see, this is a hardcore gym. I start this motion off by making sure that my chest is pressed inside the pad, and my elbows are pointing back and they directly are in line with the handles. It's like 1 second on the way up, take a nice little pause and go like 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. 3, 2, 1. There you go. So yeah, make sure that your elbows are pointing back. A lot of people make sure that their elbows are pointing upwards towards the sky. Don't ever do that. Stacking of joints is key. Retract with your shoulder blades and think that your hands are just a hook. You're pulling with your elbows and your shoulder blades. As simple as that. As you can probably see, I do move my chest from the pad here and there, but I never let the chest completely come off. You know, two sets of this. Moving on from there, I go and do a Nautilus plate loaded chest press. It's a really good machine. If you all have this kit in your gym, please use it. I like to do the overhand grip because I've got a really good mind muscle connection with my chest. I like to do 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps in this. I go a bit more faster on these reps, and I don't like to go to failure right here because my chest is already warmed up from all the eccentric loading from the back exercises. I like to leave like 1 or 2 reps in reserve. I probably do that in every exercise because my stress levels from my business is quite high. So you don't want to be adding in more stress from training. So I like to leave like 1 or 2 reps in reserve. I don't usually train till failure, but I do keep a logbook and I try to beat my previous scores at all times. So I don't take a pause on top. I don't take a pause at the bottom, but I make sure that I go through a full range of motion, keep my chest out, shoulder blades pinched back. 1 second on the way up, 2 seconds on the way down. There you go. Now, that's the first set. For the video purposes, I've also recorded my second set as well. And I always start my reps from the bottom. Like I start counting my reps from the bottom. There's no right or wrong answer. Some people like to get a spotter and start their reps on top. Some people like to start it from the bottom. I have no problem. I also like to lock my elbows on this one because my chest is my strong point. My triceps need more work. So whenever I do any sort of pushing exercise, like a chest press, shoulder press, I make sure to lock my elbows. Yeah, I mean, if you get more triceps, why not? For some clients of mine, I don't have them lock their elbows because they got stronger triceps, but they got a really weak chest. So yeah, and as you can see, sometimes I get my head off. It doesn't make any difference because you're loading your thoracic spine, not your cervical spine. Cervical spine is around the neck, thoracic spine is around the upper back. So yeah. Now, moving on from there, I do a neutral grip Nautilus shoulder press. This is me just checking my range of motion as to how deep I can possibly go, and I automatically adjust the bench. I'm doing something known as a cluster set. It's like 6 mini sets of 4 repetitions, and between each set there's like a 10-second rest. Yeah. So there's your mechanical loading exercises, which is like a heavy dumbbell press, a heavy machine press, and there's your pump sets, which is like chest flies, where you feel like a lot of blood within your muscle cells. Both those pathways cause muscle growth, but then there's also a sweet spot between the two known as a rest pause set, where you can get that pumpish feeling, but from the exercises which are more mechanically loadable, example, heavy presses and all of that. So cluster sets help you get the best of both worlds, where you just go up till failure, right up till failure, and then you back off, right up till failure, and you back off till you almost fry yourself. As simple as that. So that's the whole theory of cluster sets. So yeah. So this time I did 4 reps on the first 3 sets and 3 reps on the fourth set, 3 reps on the 5th set, and 2 reps on the 6th set. So over the next few weeks, I want to build the 4th, 5th, and 6th set up to something like 4 repetitions. I mean, at the end of the day, progressive overload is what causes muscle growth. So yeah, while I'm resting between my sets, I am like breathing, because you want to clear out the lactic acid from the muscle cells, catch a hold of your breath between sets, and then get right back in it. And it's crucial that you use a stopwatch on sets like these, basically. So, yeah. Moving on from there, my triceps are pretty fatigued, so I usually like to top and end my upper body workout with 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps on the lying incline skull crushers, basically, which is going to be my next exercises. And boom, that's basically me hitting failure. As you can probably see, I can't do anymore. So from here, I go and do some form of incline skull crushers. I like to stand and do this because it provides me more stability. I don't exactly do a skull crusher style of things. I probably make it a bit more of a press, so it's more of like a JM press. So yeah, there's a lot of movement around my elbow joint. It's like 15 kilos on each side. So yeah, I do 4 sets of these, and then from there I do some pump work for shoulders. So yeah, this is my upper body workout. I haven't covered the shoulder exercises, but people, if you found this useful, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Just do the needful, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.